beautiful the Hukumuri Male Leopard is. We've just spotted him now behind the tree. There's a tiny little bit of food left behind. You can see him in the dappled light. They're a beautiful big male leopard. This is my first time, well, my second time seeing him. I saw him on foot this morning, and he's the new boy in the western sections of Djuma, pushing Tingana further to the east. And I'm just going to see where he's off to. He might head off for a drink. It is nice and warm, about 27 degrees Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit, so not blistering by any means, but definitely warm. Okay, he's going to lie down. Let's move a little bit. Remember, this is 100% live, and what a wonderful way to start the afternoon safari. So while I try and get you a better view of Hukumuri, let's go across to Madam McCurdy. It's always very exciting to see a leopard you've never seen before, and particularly a new male with all the sort of dynamics that change, and he is really, really beautiful. He is very fat and happy at the moment, and you can see eyes closed. And he's lucky it's not too hot today. Now, of course, I've been gone for so long, I don't know too much about the Hukumuri, so if anyone's got some information for me, because apparently it's a mis-ID, he's not from the Hukumuri in Ottawa, he could be from somewhere else, so if anyone's got some information about the Hukumuri Male Leopard for me, I would love to have it. Hashtag Safari Live. It would be great to see if you guys know a bit of his history and where he's from. And I nearly forgot to tell you that it's the boys from the borough on drive today. So Senzo and myself are both from the same small town. We're born in the same small town in the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands. So nice to be back on the vehicle with Senz. As I said, it looked like a kudu from what we could see, or kudu or big inyala. Difficult to say, actually. And there's a tiny bit of meat up in the tree there, almost nothing left now. There's some more on the ground. But I think the majority of the carcass was stolen by hyenas at some point early this morning. Is that the piece of meat? Yes, well spotted there, Sens. There's a piece of meat in the grass there. You can see how well his camouflage works in the shade like that, how those rosettes break up his outline and make them, that's what makes them one of the more difficult animals to find often. But here on Juma we are very lucky with the amount of leopards we see. Now, since I've just seen Hukumuri, I'm going to work out quickly how many leopards I've seen on Djuma in my time with Safari Live. Now, of course, the Queen, Karula, her two boys, Quarantine and Kunyuma. So, wait a minute, what's it? Karula, Quarantine, Kunyuma, Mvula, Tingana, Shadow. Now, I'm not going to count, I suppose I should count the cubs and that have died. No, maybe not. Let's not count the cubs that have died. That's a bit morbid. So the ones that have made it to adulthood. So Shadow, Salahesh, Kwatile, Ingrid Dam, which is now Shidulu, Nchila, and that's 10. Now, obviously, Hasana and Shungile. So we got 12, Tamba, Tandi, Gajima. I'll just keep going, there must be more. I'm going to have to wait because I was going to take a while. I'm on 16 already, and I know I'm missing quite a few. We had some leopard sightings of leopards that just popped in and out. So while I try to figure that out, let's go back across to Steve to see what his plans are for the afternoon. Here we go. Well, he's not looking too dangerous at the moment. He's not facing us. He's just panting heavily and digesting. So I worked it out. It's about 27 different leopards in my time at Djuma. Now, of course, that's not really counting the ones from Cheetah Plains and Chitwa and around. Those are just purely seen on Djuma. So quite a few. Not very many places in the world can boast in about 2 years 27 different adult leopards. Now, and I didn't include a lot of the cubs that didn't make it to adulthood. So I think with those we could be close to 30. Kathy is wondering, has Hukumuri officially taken over Tingana's territory? Not all of it. So I would say Hukumuri is doing almost exactly what Tingana did many moons ago. He took over the western sections of Mvula's territory, and then Mvula moved further to the east, and that's what's happening to Tingana now. From what chatting to everyone here, it seems like he will go as far as sort of quarantine, maybe as far as the Mawati. But for the moment, it tends to be on the southwestern sections, and Tingana still holds most of the eastern sections. Now, of course, that can change, and it all depends on condition of Tingana, condition of Hukumuri. Does another new male come in? So this is quite an interesting time to be watching the leopards here on Djuma, because there is going to be a little bit of upheaval. Now, of course, with Hukumuri moving into the western sections, that has moved Thandi and Cub quite a lot further to the east, and spending quite a lot of time in Torchwood and Buffalo's Hook. And I think it all depends. If Thandi's Cub doesn't make it to adulthood, she will move right back into this area and happily mate with Hukumuri and Tingana for that matter. But up until that sort of little leopard gets to 16 months, 17 months, although maybe a little bit younger, she's going to try avoid Hukumuri at all costs. It seems like, he's up. He's just turning around to try to find a bit more comfortable spot because of the heat. But in the meantime, it sounds like Steve's search of the waterholes is paying off. Let's go see what's about to go for a swim or a drink. Yes, it was quite funny to try and get Steve to eat some liver. I'm just moving because looked like he was about to go up the tree, but he's up. There he is. Now, he's not as relaxed as some of the leopards we get here, so he's by no means unrelaxed, but I just don't like moving too much or too quickly around him. I think he might be going for a drink. Elizabeth is wondering, how does Hukumuri's size compare to other dominant males? Now that I can see him up a little bit and on the move, he's a good sized male leopard. I think probably a little bit smaller than Tingana when Tingana's at his prime. But often that doesn't mean anything, because if you look at Mvula was actually very small for a dominant male leopard. But often it's not the size of the cat, but the size of the fight in the cat. And as I say, I think he's heading down to have a drink. So what I'm going to do, I just want to make sure where he's going. So there he is. He does have some meat stashed down here as well. And that was the original meat we found. As I say, I don't want to pressure him too much. And I say, I don't know this leopard as well as I know the other leopards. So I'm going to give him a fair bit of distance and respect. We want him to become as relaxed as Tingana and the other big males we get in this area. So we don't want to put too much pressure on him. So we're just keeping our distance while he's moving. When he lies down or whatnot, then we'll stop a fair distance away. So I'm hoping he's going to go climb up that fallen, I think it was a fallen knobthorn, if I remember correctly, that's where I got Steve's liver from this morning, was around here. So this is, what happens is it looked like he caught the kudu drinking at a pan. Oh, it's going to be nice light. Get ready with your screenshots. found something in the grass there. I'm sure that, as I said, there's lots of bits of meat spread out over quite a distance. Isn't that beautiful in that afternoon light? Now, Guide Monkey says, well, I was asking a question, is it fair to say that predator territories are more about sort of avoiding or finding the least confrontation for the best territory rather than over resources? I would say that plays a part of it, but I would say resource and female availability is what drives predator territories, specifically when it comes to the big cats. So where you've got an area that's resource rich, you've got a lot of females. And a male leopard, a male lion, they're sort of driving force is to mate and make sure that their genes get passed on. So he's going to go have a drink. Let me just zoom around quickly now that he's got some space. So this is actually where he killed the kudu. And I'm just going to try to get to the other side. Looks like he's going to go find a shady spot to have a drink. Oh, hold on. We're nearly there. Let's just have a quick safety shot from here. Let me just see, there we go. I just want to try to go very slowly. As I said, he's not quite as relaxed as Mr. T and Co. Oh, guys, get ready. This is going to be gorgeous. Look at that face. Now we've got a nice frontal view of him. Tanushi is wondering, how do we identify the different leopards? Now, of course, when you spend a lot of time with them, you get to know them individually, and you can see body shape, size, all that type of stuff. But the best way with new leopards is the spot pattern above the last line of whiskers. So you can see there, that last line of whiskers, he's got 3 prominent spots above it. So each leopard has a spot pattern that's like a fingerprint. Look at that nice scar. Oh, he's got a character. And scar down just below his left eye. He's a thirsty boy. Now, it's a perfect spot where he killed us. So from what it looked like is he actually caught the animal drinking and then dragged it away from the water's edge. And it being a big kudu, it was too big for him to hoist. And then the hyenas made off with some pieces of it. He made off with other pieces of it. So the little pieces he did make off with, he's managed to hoist into spots. Now, I'm sure the hyenas are still probably snoozing not too far away, hoping to try get whatever's left. The ultimate opportunists. Monique's wondering, why would the hyena leave when there's still food there? Well, Monique, what I'm saying is that they haven't left. They'll be, while it's hot, they'll be doing the exact same as him. And you'll probably find that the hyena is actually made off with a fair amount of the carcass from what we could see from the tracks. And there will be some hyenas still in the area, but they also struggle with heat, so they're probably just snoozing in the shade somewhere, and as it gets cooler, they'll probably come back for an inspection, see if he's dropped some meat or if he's abandoned some of the bones that are too big for him to crush. Dale's wondering, will Hukumuri's dewlap get larger as he gets older? For those of you who don't know what a dewlap is, it's that bit of thick, loose skin under his neck. Now, in leopards, it's there, and particularly in the males, it can be quite pronounced, and that thick, loose skin helps protect them when they're fighting with other leopards. Now, probably it will get larger. I'm not sure how old he is, and looking at him, I would say, and this is a complete guess, so you guys are welcome to correct me, and just generally looking at him, I would say he's about 6 or 7 years old. Maybe even as old as 8. Maybe a bit younger, I'm not sure. I'd say 6, 7 years old. You can actually hear him lapping up the water. Very thirsty. And that's one of the reasons I came here at this time of the day. He's probably been snoozing for the majority of the day, and I thought there's a very good chance, especially as you get sort of the peak heat starts coming down just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and he might be coming down for a drink. And he has not disappointed. He's heard something. Did a hyena? Oh, I think there's a hyena. I think there's a hyena that's gone back towards his food. That's what's got him up and on the move. Oh, there's a big hole. We don't want to fall into that. From the tracks we saw here, he absolutely gave those hyenas as good as he got. I'll try and show you. Let's just see. He's heading back towards that meat is. I say I don't want to spook him. He should be about to appear in front of us shortly. There he is. Okay. No, his body language changed a little bit. Maybe he just heard something, and he was just making sure that nothing was going to try steal the remnants of his carcass. But when he goes flat again, because oh no, things are running now. Oh, it's a batelier. A batelier was stealing his food. It wasn't a hyena, it was a bird. It just took off as he ran towards the tree. Okay, let's just have a quick look here, because he might even go up the tree, because the batelier was stealing that piece of meat from in the tree. And it looks like the batelier might have knocked it down. So let's see if he... Let's just wait here a little bit, see what he does. Hey, big boy. Oh, he's beautiful. So there was some pieces of meat in the tree, and there were some on the ground. And it's likely that batelier might have dropped one of the pieces onto the ground when it was disturbed by the leopard running there. And now Tristan told me to look at his tongue. Look at his tongue. It is so long. Silly looking cat. I see he might go back up the tree to check. Or he might just flop down in the shade there. Flop. Okay, well, while he flops down, we're just going to wait a little bit to see what happens next. While we do that, I know Madam McCurdy is searching. Well, he's looking quite comfortable in the grass over there. So I said I wanted to show you some tracks a little bit earlier. So I think that's what we're going to do while he's flat cat in the grass, making sure the bateliers don't come back to steal his meat. Let's go have a quick look at these incredible tracks. So that's how we knew something was up when we arrived. When we found his tracks walking in from the south, so from outside of Djuma. So he came in last night or early this morning, and we saw the tracks going down the road, and then we followed them towards the pan, and then suddenly we saw where he had been fighting with hyenas, and that's when we knew something was up. So there's an incredible spot where he's moved the mud that's been sprayed around by some elephants, and you can see that he's gripping in to leap to chase the hyenas. And it's just down here. Now this pan always brings back lots of memories for me. I had some incredible sightings with Hosana and Shongile in the rain here, playing and jumping up and down all over the trees. We're probably about 70 or 80 meters away from him now, and I'm just trying to find this track again. It was so clear this morning, but now that it's dried out a bit, it's not quite as clear in the harsh afternoon lights. But so what looked like happened, actually let's just see, you can actually have a look here. What I think happened is he stopped here for a rest, and you can see where the grass is a little bit flattened right next to us here. So I think he was lying there, and while he was lying here, the poor unsuspecting kudu came down for a drink. Now just a little bit wider there, since to the left a tiny bit, to the other left. So he was there behind that log, and the kudu came down on the opposite side of that green grass to drink. And from what we could work out, he leapt across and grabbed it around where, just beyond where that elephant dung is there. There we go. And then from that little corner there of the water where the kudu was drinking, he dragged it off to the right, to that thicket. There we go. And he dragged it into that thicket there. So, and then that's where the hyenas found him. Yeah, unfortunately, the track is not as clear, and I can't really see where it is. It was so clear when we were on foot, but it's one of those things. Now, all the little pieces of liver, including the one I tried to feed Steve this morning, are all gone. I'm sure the basileas and tawny eagles and other, well, predatory birds and scavenging birds came and cleaned up that crime scene. Now, of course, when we were there, it was still quite early, and a lot of those birds had not found it yet. So that's why we were able to see all the little bits of blood and all sorts that were around. Okay, let's go back to the leopard. So we found his tracks coming in from that side down this road. Well, hi, Walt. Walt would like to know, what happens to a male leopard who loses his territory? Well, Walt, it becomes a very difficult time for that male leopard. So male leopards, when they become independent from mom and get pushed out of the area by the dominant males in the area, become nomadic, and the same thing happens at the end of a male leopard's life when he is pushed out of his territory. Again, they will become nomadic, and they tend to sort of try slip between different other male leopards' territories. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of long grass there, but not too bad. So they'll slip between different male leopards' territories and try avoid conflict at all costs. They still will try and rob a lot of kills from females and other young males, so they do move around a lot more than when they're territorial males, and territorial males do move around a lot, but what they're doing is moving around and scent marking and patrolling to make sure there are no other threats coming into their territory. There we go, that's nice of him to lift his head. belly full of kudu, now sloshing with water after that big drink. He's a very, very tired kitty at the moment. Very happy cat as well. Well, we're going to sit here a little bit longer. I might go to some of the waterholes to see if there's any elephants around, but in the meantime, let's go see how Steve's doing somewhere else out there in the African bush. Well, Hukumuri is very flat at the moment, and well, Steve's been chatting about tracking and the fact that he saw leopard tracks on Table Mountain. I've seen leopard tracks in the Kirstenbosch National Gardens on Table Mountain as well. So there are leopards around. Those Cape Mountain leopards, however, have incredibly massive home ranges in comparison to a leopard here. A male leopard in the Cederberg or in those Cape Mountains can have a territory of up to 200,000 hectares. So that is 4 Sabi sands. And that's due to lack of prey availability, and that also causes them to be a lot smaller. And much, much smaller. Hukumuri is probably 80 kilograms, and a male leopard in the Cederberg and all in the Cape Mountains is probably only 35 to 40 kilograms, so 50% in the weight. And that's all to do with food availability. Now, my favorite thing I think about tracking, I don't know, there's something everything, to be honest. He's spotted something. Is there a hyena coming in? No, and he's put his head back down again. He just popped his head up for a second there. But yeah, everything about tracking. I just love being out on foot. I love having close encounters with big cats, with elephants, with rhino, buffalo, and it is quite exhilarating. I just absolutely adore it. Now, one other thing, Steve was chatting about robins a bit earlier. Now, for those of you in the Europe and UK, the closest robin to what you call robin redbreast or whatnot, I had to bring out my big book because in terms of looks, of course, is a forest robin. Now, there's quite a few different color variations of forest robins. I've been lucky enough to see quite a lot of them I've seen them in Gabon, I've seen them in Congo. So there we go, the forest robins is probably the closest in terms of looks to the UK robin, redbreast. Oh, he's down again. He's just getting hot and moving around. So they occur pretty much in the northern Congo Basin forests, if we have a look at their distribution map there. So very, very cool. Now, I'm trying to decide now whether to move along or sit with Hukumuri a bit longer. So why don't you guys just make it easy for me and decide for me. So hashtag Safari Live. Should we stay or should we go? Up to you. I don't think he's going to get up to too much, but it is just incredibly pleasant to sit next to a massive male leopard. It's always lovely to see them, especially through the grass. Sometimes some of my favorite views of leopards are not way out in the open. It's sort of views like that where you've got the grass in front of him and it's sort of just a leopard in its habitat. Hey, big boy. Shashank is wondering, is there any difference between jaguars and leopards? Yes, quite a few. They are indeed a separate species, so that means they cannot mate and produce viable offspring. And, flop. A jaguar is physically much bigger than a leopard, often going over 100 kilos, where a male leopard of 100 kilos is almost unheard of. They're also far more aquatic than leopards. Leopards will swim if they have to, but they don't really like getting their feet wet, whereas jaguars will hunt and swim and lie in water to cool off. So, of course, they've what you call sort of parallel evolution, because they've evolved on the other side of the world, literally, and the dappled markings and spots for camouflage is a parallel evolution. They are both part of the Panthera family, so the big cat family, so they're both able to roar. But yes, yeah, so there's quite a lot of big differences between them. It's tired kitty. Sorry, Bex, could you go again with that question? That Game Drive radio is quite loud. Hi, Tiva. Tiva is wondering, to what extent do other lodges share information on leopard sightings? Well, it all depends on your traverse. If the lodges traverse over the same area, there's extensive information shared. There's actually WhatsApp groups that all the guides in the Sabi Sands are part of. So if a leopard that no one knows arrives, you pop a picture on there and see if anyone else knows that leopard. So we do share information extensively with the other lodges. Of course, the lodges that you traverse in the same area, you share more information with, because you're out there in the same places every day. Now, for example, we share a lot of information with Chitwa and with Djuma, of course. Now, of course, it's for me, it's quite easy with Chitwa as well, because if we don't get any information, I'll give my brother a good clip around the ears, because my brother is a guide at Chitwa. Now, apart from sitting with leopards, one of my favorite things is to spend time with our feathered creatures, and it seems like Steve is on a birding mission this afternoon. Well, there we go. Hukumuri's up in the tree, and there's actually I can see two, there might be a few more hyenas about as well below him. So he's taken up what little remnants of food he had, and he's really just trying to get the last little meat out of the vertebra there. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And you can see the hyenas hoping for him to drop whatever little is left. So someone asked a bit earlier today whether the hyenas were still around or they'd gone away. As I said, they were just sleeping somewhere close by. And there's very little food left on there. And what makes hyenas so incredible that they are able to survive off the little scraps. They do hunt a lot for themselves, but their patience is undeniable when it comes to... Oh, here's another hyena. Okay, so now we've got 3 hyenas. There's one coming in from behind us. And we've got this one right under the tree. We've got lots of ticks. Are those ticks or wounds? Just zoom up on the neck there. And the wounds. Battle-scarred hyena. There goes a hyena coming in from behind you. Which side is it going to come? To your right, Sens. Here we go. Another hyena coming in. Oh, watch out. I just dropped my head. Coming right around the front of the car. Now, there we go. Look at that. Now, Toon is wondering, how do you tell male and female hyenas apart? Generally, you look at their tummies. So the tummies is sort of the easiest way to tell a male and female hyena apart. The male's, that's definitely a female. But the male's stomach sort of graduates upwards in a sort of straight line, whilst the female's is a bit more rounded. There's the third hyena just walking past. So it's disappeared. Let's have a look at Hukumuri up there in the tree again. Oh, quickly across to Steve. Well, Hukumuri is still munching on the remnants of that kudu carcass. Not much left, so it's unlikely he's going to be here tomorrow. He'll probably be out on the move, patrolling his recently gotten territory. And it'll be interesting to to see if him and Tingana eventually ever do come to blows. But incredible to see a live buffalo birth with Steve. That is absolutely amazing. Isn't that exciting? A live buffalo birth. Very, very cool. Not something you see every day. So, well done, Steve. Right place at the right time. We're going to sit chat with Hukumuri for a bit longer. I think he might come down the tree in the next little bit. So, we're going to keep watching him. So, let's have a look. And there's almost nothing left on that carcass at the moment. Here we go. He's definitely not... Oops! Where are the hyenas? He's just dropped it. He's going down quickly. The hyenas might come rushing in. Yeah, the hyenas are running in. Oh dear, Hukumuri. That wasn't very clever. Oh, happy hyena. Tail up. Chasing off the leopard. There he goes. He's in front of us. Through there. Okay. He's stopped now, but there we go. Wasn't that exciting? I mean, it didn't look like anything exciting was going to happen here, and Steve had all the action, but the hyenas definitely came in at the right time as he lost concentration slightly and dropped that vertebra. Now, I want to make sure we don't lose him, because I have to say, I think he's going to move now, and in this low light, you can lose a leopard in a few seconds. There we go. Let's have a quick look at the hyena munching. Crunch, crunch. Well, there was almost nothing left, to be honest, so he didn't lose too much. Quickly back across to Steve. Oh, he is. He's just popped out into the road. Unfortunately for us, he's heading in the wrong direction. So, sorry, I've just got a car behind me, so I just need to make sure they can see him as well. That. Oh, he's coming back. That's good of you. Having a good smell. Good scent mark. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll give us a little call. Oh, he is a beautiful boy. He's definitely setting up shop now. He wouldn't take that much time scent marking and whatnot if he didn't feel comfortable in this area. I love it when male leopards do that. Put their head into the trees, giving a good sniff before scent marking. Okay, let's move again. I think he might go for a drink at the pan. He's just gone down to the water, just behind this bush here. Well, it seems like Steve has got lots and lots of babies today. There he was. He had a quick little drink at the pan, and now he's sort of trying to decide which way to go next. I'm hoping he heads sort of northeast, deeper into Djuma, and not south away from Djuma. And we're very, very close to the boundary, no more than about 60 meters. So, as I say, really hoping that he decides to not head south at all. I'm just listening now. He'll probably not move too far before resting up at the moment. With that full belly, he probably will sleep a little. Oh, listen. There we go. I was hoping he'd give us a little saw. So, proclaiming territory. And I'm pretty sure if Tingana's at Chitwa, he'll hear that from... He'll definitely hear Hukumuri calling. And good news again, he's heading deeper into Djuma. He's not heading towards the boundary anymore. Isn't that exciting? And it's very, very good news. Unfortunately, he's just passing behind a vehicle there. I'm just going to see where he's moving, where he's very, very close to the cars, and he's not as relaxed as the other male leopards around the vehicles. So I'm not going to move the car just yet. I'm just going to wait till I can see that he's far enough away. He is. Okay, hold on. Looks like he might take a walk down towards Treehouse Waterhole. Oh, he's right behind me. He popped up right behind me. I'm going to have to wait for him to pass. Where is he? Sense? Is he gone? No. Okay, thanks. Changed his mind. Decided to walk right past the car. Even while I was moving. Okay. Well, it's nearly the end of the safari. I'm going to try and get you one last view of the magnificent Hukumuri as he walks down towards Treehouse Dam. So we've got a good idea about where to start looking for him bright and early tomorrow morning. Oh, there he is. We're going to let him disappear around the corner on his way to Treehouse Waterhole. Hopefully we'll have luck with him tomorrow morning while he continues on his territorial takeover of Djuma. So from all of us here at Safari Live, bon nuit and see you in the morning.